Happy 2024, everybody. This is the first Small Talk episode of the new year. It is Small Talk episode 21. I'm 130 of your co-host. My name is Ryan Cam. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Joining me as always with his lament configuration from 3D Movie Cinema, it's Jacob Collins and looking slightly demented as he always does.
Hi.
Isn't he always?
Yeah.
Hi. I just cannot wait to talk about Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2. Oh, wait, that's not even this movie. Oh, never mind then. I guess we're talking about Smallville now? Okay. Yeah, I guess we're here to talk about Smallville, right? Yep, so I'm here to talk about Smallville, eh? All right, so Smallville, yeah. I feel like I'm in Smallville now with a Canadian accent. That's where the show's shot. Hey, let me talk about Smallville, eh? I really like this episode, Velocity, eh? I'm wondering, can't wait to see how Matt thinks about Velocity, eh?
Speaking of Matt Wyatt, Matt, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm excited to get into philosophy. Blech, God, I can't even pronounce that title right. An obsession, pretty decent, not the best. But then Resurrection, I can't wait to get rant on that episode. That's because that episode was terrible.
Well, let's kick off 2024 by jumping into these episodes. I want to give everyone a big thank you for checking out the live stream this past Sunday for New Year's Eve. It was a lot of fun. Jacob said something regrettable, I imagine, because we're taping this on Thursday, the
Oh, sure, I
28th.
will.
So it hasn't happened
I
yet,
have.
technically. But I imagine something screwed up was said on the part of a certain member of
Well, Matt
this.
started it. I just literally finished it.
But thank you all for checking out the stream nonetheless. But let's dive in to Smallville Season 3, Episode 13, called The Fast and the Furious Smallville Drift or Velocity.
They're gonna kill someone. What are we gonna do? Stop me? Can't let you race anymore. It's too dangerous.
While returning home after leaving Jonathan Kent in the hospital, recovering from a heart attack, the truck of Martha and Clark is almost hit by two cars. For the greatest surprise and deception of Clark, one of the drivers is Pete Ross, who has become the friend of the bad element Jason Dante, who is using Meteor Rock's synthetic fuel to win at drag races. Pete does not accept Clark's advice and gets into serious trouble when Dante wants $20,000 of losses after thinking Pete betrayed him to the police. Meanwhile, Lex investigates the prominent Dr. Leah Teng about her research of blood platelets with Adam Knight, and Lana feels threatened by the mysterious dark secret of Adam after finding out that he, quote-unquote, died of a rare liver disease and learns about the mysterious blood platelet drug he is taking to keep himself alive. So this episode, like I cheekily said, was basically Fast and the Furious. It's better than Fast X by a significant margin, but
I would
to
take
it.
anything after like Fast 7 any day when it comes to this episode.
But can we say this though? That this has practical car racing compared to the last 12 Fast and Furious movies.
That's true, yes. But Jacob, what did you think of the episode?
So basically, first off, before we start on this episode, did you think the dad was gonna die? Like, were you like, because you were like, oh, Paul Kent, he's having a heart attack. Uh-oh, like in the movie, Superman the movie.
Not yet. I love you, son.
Dad?
Yeah, did you really think he was going to die the moment he started having a heart attack in the last episode? By the time we get to the end,
I will I will admit there was a part of me that was like, no, wait, it's too soon. But then, they might like pull the rug out from under us. But like there was a part of me that was like, I don't know, but then I was like, no, he's probably going to be back. So there was like a kernel of maybe, but overall, I thought he's going to be fine. And sure enough, he was. I mean, John Schneider killed it. He always does. But just overall, like his delivery where he said at the end of the episodes, no, it's too soon. I was like, uh-oh, Jarrell is the man coming around taking names in the words of Johnny Cash. But no, like Jonathan's fine for the time being, though I have a feeling that we might as well just like put a pin in that. We might be revisiting it. I can't like put my finger on why, but I just have a feeling that's going to come down the road. Just play the Just play the Mission Impossible clip now.
I can neither confirm nor deny details of any such operation without the Secretary's approval.
But I want us to talk about at the beginning when the mom and the son, Clark and Martha, leave the hospital. Wouldn't one of them stay behind with Jonathan because that is their husband and father? We're like, oh, we're gonna go home. Bye, Dad.
Well, I mean, Jonathan repeatedly said, "You guys go home, I'll be fine." So it's not like they weren't willing to stay.
Oh no, they were willing to stay until Jonathan said, "No, I'm gonna be fine. You can go home. It's safe."
But what kind of wife is like, yeah, I'll go home. Yeah, I got some stuff to. I gotta do something. I gotta milk some cows and feed some crows.
Well,
I mean,
someone's gonna have to. Someone's got to.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, Jacob, but at the same time, I mean, Jonathan literally said, "Go home, I'm fine." So it wasn't like I say, like, "Smell you later." It's like, no, he literally gave permission.
Okay, all right. And also with the Adam Knight thing. All right, so when she looks at the picture and Adam's like, I would have been like, nah, that ain't me.
Yeah,
That's- I
she's
would-
looking. Yeah, she's looking at the record
Yeah.
that he died from liver disease, and he's denying the fact that that was him and that it could be anybody else. And the moment that he's having the blood streaming down his eyes, how disturbing that shot was! Like, what the hell is going on?
It reminded me of the Bond villain, the Casino Royale villain where it cries blood. I would have been
Oh.
like,
Lashif.
the sheep. I would have been like this. I would have been like, I'm a big fan of Casino Royale. Sorry. That's how I would have said. I'm a big
I mean,
fan
Casino Royale is one of the best Bond movies ever, so there's...
But
That's
I mean,
true.
What year did this show come out? 2003. Casino
Yeah,
Royale,
it was like
2000.
I think it no, yeah, it was in
Six?
it was in early 2004 for this episode, in early like winter.
So that's like, yeah, because I think
This-
Die Another Day was the last Bond film out at this time.
This episode came out February 11th, 2004, according to IMDb.
Yeah, it was yeah, you're right. It is February.
And so what Fast movie was out by then? It was like what Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, I think.
Too Fast,
Tokyo
Too
Drift.
Furious came out in 03, so that would have been the most recent. And then Tokyo Drift didn't come out until 06.
So that means
That's
they were
correct.
Too Fast and Too Furious at that point. They're like, yeah, and then like they got Street, who's like Tyrese, and then they got Ryan Merriman, who is like basically Cole Hauser in this movie, and then Paul Walker.
I don't know if you're familiar with Ryan Merriman's work. I mean, I've seen him in a
Smart
couple of
House,
Disney.
Final
Yes,
Destination 3.
yeah, Final Destination 3, and he was also in The Luck of the Irish. Yeah, he's been in a couple of like a few Disney Channel
He's a
movies.
DCOM guy.
Yeah,
DCOM
absolutely.
is like Disney Channel, like
yeah, he was the
DCOM.
DCOM guy when Disney Channel was better back then.
Yeah, back then when it was not, catering to pedophiles. I mean, seriously.
Okie dokie. Well, the thing that I loved the most, I loved the most about this episode was Pete. This is the best Pete Ross episode by a significant amount. Like, Sam Jones III just completely understood the assignment here. And
Oh,
this
for
is
sure.
some of the best that I've personally ever seen from him.
We finally get him more to do, and not just
Exactly.
like sidelight him for the majority of the season.
And when he and Clark have that blow up, it's not exactly like he's coming from, like, he's got no ammunition to fire. I mean, the dude literally is the first guy in this show outside of Jonathan and Martha Kent who knows the secret.
For once in my life, I finally found something that I'm truly good at. And for once in my life, I finally get to feel what you feel like every single day. And ever since we were kids, even before I knew your secret, I've always been walking in your shadow.
There is logic in what he says.
So he's had to carry a metaphorical burden, like Atlas carrying the world. So when he blows up at Clark, I'm like, I hate to see this, but at the same time, I mean, it's like, it's not exactly like he's coming from a place of being like a dick. Like, he's justified in his anger.
He doesn't want to live in Clark's shadow, because he even mentioned, like, even before I knew your secret, I've always been living in your shadow, and I got no sense of purpose. Even when I know your secret, and I'm glad that I know, it's not a bad place to be, but I want to do something that I love, that I'm passionate about, that I'm good at. I get to be special, and he wants to be seen. He wants to have an audience. He wants to be their champion, because Clark gets to do things that no one can dream of, and he's been a little bit jealous of Clark.
That's true. How lazy, though, a nickname for his, like, Pete the Boss Ross.
The Boss Ross. That really rhymes.
It reminds me of Boss Hog from Dukes of Hazzard. Like, I was like getting in my head, the Boss Hog. I was like, what, really? But
They should have just called him Ross Hog.
And isn't the bad guy's name Dominic?
Hang on, I'm checking.
Because I'm like,
No,
what
his
is Vin
name
Diesel's?
His name is Jason Dante.
Dante. I thought it was Dominic. I'm like thinking, like, isn't his name Dominic? Because I wrote Dominic on my notes. Maybe I'm thinking of Vin Diesel's character from Fast and
Yeah, you were thinking about Dominic Toretto.
Dante. But I do think it is funny though that the bad Dante mocks Clark's truck. And he pulls up and says, and he said, "Nice ride. What does that get? 0 to 60 in an hour."
Is that little smart ass remark?
I was started laughing at that joke.
I was like, you dick.
Your car.
Like, you already know who that person is the moment you meet them. Did not make a
Also,
good impression.
They're in these jackets, okay? They're in these leather jackets, and they're driving sports cars. They're driving like these, fast cars. That's usually what bikers wear. And I'm like, why are they like? That's my issue with this. I'm like, they're wearing leather jackets, like biker jackets, and yet they're driving cars. I'm like, in what world does bikers drive sports cars? Wouldn't they be on the right? Like, wouldn't it make more sense if Pete was in like a motorcycle gang?
Into this world all alone.
Yeah, they wanted to look like they're in a motorcycle gang, but also they're a street racing gang.
I'm like, street racing. I'm like, does that make sense, Ryan, logically? Because Pete's usually in the motorcycles and all that. When did he become a fast car enthusiast?
Yeah, that part didn't make any sense.
He's driven some really nice cars in this show, so it's not too far beyond the pale. But at the same time, these guys definitely are less Dom Toretto and more like Johnny Tran, the villain from the original The Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially literally, they're like, oh, they told Pete, we need you to throw the race. And I'm like, and then he wins. I'm like, how does that make sense logically?
Because Dante bet against him. He bet against him for the race to throw it off, and he wants him to cheat.
And he's like, you idiot, you just cost me 30. Like, I was literally laughing because he's like, if you don't give me the money. Like, I thought what he said was great, but at the same time, I'm like, what? How does that make sense? Wouldn't you bet on me then? Why would you bet
Yeah, wouldn't it have been a smart move just to bet on me and not bet against me? How's that? That part didn't make no sense.
Because how would you guarantee I was going to lose?
I'm out $20,000 because
you can't fix stupid.
Yeah, she's going to the throne of drugs and trying to go to Lex. That he wants him to look into that drug and what Adam is taking.
And then Lex confronts Dr. Tang and blackmails her and gets the helmet and basically almost gets her deported.
Threatened her to get deported from Korea
to North Korea of all places.
But the actress herself, I don't really bought into her as a Korean. She doesn't look like a Korean to me. Not to nitpick.
I've got her IMDb here. She is born in Vancouver.
Yeah, she's Canadian.
She was in Aliens vs. Predator, Requiem, and Blade Trinity.
Well, that says all about her career. Like, oh, you're not even Blade 2, Blade Trinity.
The one Wesley Snipes couldn't be bothered to act in.
The one who got thrown to the side.
The one where they CGI'd his eyes open at the end. Because he didn't want to open them. I was like, but yeah, wow. But yeah, I did like that. I did like her as a character, him blackmailing her, saying and then he gets her fired from her job and everything and all that. Then he basically, Lex literally did that. Like, it shows that Lex is going down this path because he ruined this woman's life, just like he ruined Chloe's life by getting her dad fired and everything. So it's like Lex is literally on the same path as Lionel. I feel like, don't you, Ryan?
Yeah, he's starting to turn into him.
Yeah, it's like I said in last week's episode, the pieces of the puzzle are on the table. They're just not yet arranged properly, but slowly but surely, like one is getting moved into the corners are forming. So the outline is starting to come together.
I also like that I also like that Clark calls the cops on Dante. If I say Dominic, I apologize. I had Dominic in my notes. Sorry. So it's Dante. Y'all can correct me because I had Dominic. All my notes say Dominic.
You're good. Just do
Dante. Dante. He calls the cops, which I'm like, when Clark just goes in there. By the way, he breaks into their place and then no one's there. It's like stuff with it's like that same. I had the same issue with Fast and Furious where they literally rip off the same shit. By the way, they rip off scenes from Fast and Furious. Remember when Vin Diesel and them, they go in there and they see all the VCRs and then Paul Walker reports it to his boss and they raid Tran's house? That felt like the exact same thing.
I didn't think about it. Like, oh yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, that's true. They ripped off that scene in Fast and Furious.
The only thing that was missing was the scene wasn't soundtracked by the song Debonair by the band Dope.
For some reason, Dante has the police in their back pocket and why they never got caught and arrested
He
for
owes
street
somebody 20
racing.
grand. Wouldn't it make more sense? Like, how would he have a cop in his pocket if he owes somebody 20 grand? Like, literally, you're a street racer, a mid-level street racer, dude. Come on. Like, how
Yeah,
do
you're a
you have
mid-level
20
street racer and somehow you can be able to get the cops in their back pocket and never get caught. How does that make any sense?
It's like, no, go away, bro. I'm gonna arrest you. Go. That's extortion. Like, seriously. But yeah, that to me, I just irked me. I'm like, come on. And then I do like that he beat up Pete, thinking Pete was the one.
Oh yeah, I love that they did it off screen and showing the reveal in the shadow in the barn, seeing him all beat up with bruises and blood all over his face. Oh, and the performance, what a performance on Sam Jones right there. How him like freaking out and then begging Clark to steal the money and pay Dante off. Otherwise, his family are gonna get murdered and he'll be the last one. And if you keep beating him up, he's just gonna come back at him. So he's desperate.
The sheriff is so over dramatic in that scene too. And she's like, "Mr. Kent, next time I see it, it said if you say it's raining outside, I better see some water or something like that."
I better see some water.
Isn't this the same police force? Isn't this the same police force that arrested Jonathan Kent for murder on a rumor? I'm old enough to remember that.
Yes. I mean, also, why beat up Pete and not kill him? Because if he ratted you out and you beat him up, guess who he's going to report? You don't think he's going to go back to the police and say, look at this. They assaulted and battered me. They assaulted and battered. Look, you can look at my face. See, look.
It just raises too many questions.
Yeah,
you could have arrested him for an assault battery. You beat the living crap out of him.
You're digging your own grave, Mr. Dante. You have entered the 7th level of your own hell. I love how Clark like steals his Porsche, but it's more implied that it's like
he leaves his keys on a freaking.
He did it on purpose. Didn't you see? Like
that was on purpose.
Because he's like, I can't help you out, Clark. He goes, good luck, and he picks up his jacket very conveniently with his keys right there. It almost looked like he was making eye contact. Goes,
like he knew he was lending him the keys.
He was expecting Clark to do that.
Yeah, he's like, expecting without mentioning it.
It's like, where are my keys? It would be a damn shame if someone took my car for a little ride and brought it back in about an hour 45.
I do think that Michael Roseman was funny in this scene because he was just like, I like how he tells that story about they're like dogs. You give them scraps, the next day they'll be wanting more scraps. Yeah, I thought that was a good analogy because
that was definitely a great analogy.
That is such a line.
Because even if you do pay the person off, they're always going to come begging for more. They got you by the balls.
Yeah. Do you think season 1 Lex would have gave him the money, Ryan?
I want to say yes. I think he would have. Because, we are still in the kind of honeymoon phase of the Clex. Like, Lex had just survived the car crash. And so, like, Lex was still kind of like, who is this guy? I want to know more about him.
And also, he bought him a new truck and he refuses to take the truck. It's like, hey, is there anything else that I can give to you in return? And that would have been a good time. He probably would have given him the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, which I think Lex is now because after him surviving a crash and, after like surviving another plane crash and as everyone loving him, betraying him, he's just basically like, my father's making me into the man I need to become. And, and sometimes you have to destroy your enemies, and it feels like, yes, I do agree. Like he's becoming his father's. And like, I think honestly, if Clark asked for that money, no questions asked, like if Clark told him the whole situation, I think Lex would still not give him the money.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Which I do think Clark would never steal Lex's car. Clark's too much of a boy scout. I don't think he would have stole the car.
He would commit murder apparently because the ending of this episode is quite dramatic. Like Clark,
he inadvertently killed him by disabling inside the car.
He just shoots and kills that guy's car, and I'm like, "Oh, Clark just murdered." This is the second guy he killed this season.
Yeah, he killed Dante.
He killed the guy that does this, and so now he killed Dante. Fake Dominic Toretto, or fake.
Yeah, now you guys can't complain about Superman killing. Superman will never kill.
He kills 2 people in this season. He kills 2 people.
Inadvertently.
If somebody has a bomb, you fly away and don't come back. You're killing them.
I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
That's Pat
I
Method. Yes, I agree.
I do love the ending though, where Clark's playing basketball and Pete's like, let's just bury the hatchet. And Clark was like, yeah, I kind of did some screwed up things for you. So yeah, we're not so
Yeah, I had to
close.
steal things for you to save you, and and someone died, and I have to pay for it. And I have to live with that mistake.
And Clark just walks away and it you kind of hate to see it. It
You
just
hate
like,
to see it because Pete was willing to tell him like, "Hey, I will never disrespect your secret, and I will never do that until the day I die." That's oh God, what a great performance! Another great performance for Sam Jones.
yeah. I'll also say like the ending song, the cover of I believe it was Wonderwall. It wasn't
Yeah, it was
always
Wonderwall. It was a cover song from Wonderwall.
like a very haunting version, but it was
Oh yeah, but it fit into the tone of the end of the episode.
I did like how about how Lex confronting the doctor and everything. I thought that was pretty cool. And I did think that like how like they put a bomb. I don't like how Clark said, "Hey, the race is off. You rigged this car to blow." I'm like, why would you say that in front of them, Clark? You don't think they're gonna knock your ass out?
Yeah, it's common sense. Why would you confront them? And you realize that they have kryptonite that can take you down without even knowing your weakness. Like
exactly.
that's the first thing you don't do. Don't try to confront them right away.
I understand you're trying to be a Boy Scout, but man, that's being a dumb Boy Scout.
Yeah,
But
that's
Well,
just you being stupid.
despite some nitpicks, I thought this was a pretty strong
this
episode,
was a great
especially
episode.
from Sam Jones the third. He like justified his entire like existence in this season with that episode alone. But let's go to ratings. Jacob, 1 to 10, what do you got?
I'm gonna give this a 3. No, I'm gonna give this. I would say about a 9 out of 10.
All right, Matt, what about you?
I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. A great episode, the best out of the three.
Really?
And yeah, well, yeah, it's
I
definitely
thought
the
you were
best
gonna
out
go
of the
9. I
three.
mean, okay,
Oh no, it's
all
close.
right.
No, it's no. It's okay. Yeah, it is close to 9. It was almost close, despite with some of the nitpicks of the being the Fast and Furious episode. But I can get past that. But one scene that I forgot to mention before we like finish this off. I love the scene when Clark is just blaming himself for his heart condition because the doctor said that he had a heart of a 20-year-old, but it had something to do with having his powers that Jarrell gave to him to bring him back from the Metropolis and telling him like if I hadn't put on that rain and abandoned you, you wouldn't be lying in this hospital bed. So he's being held responsible for his heart condition.
Yeah, I think Clark needs to remember that his father's into his mid to late 50s just by looking at
No,
him.
he's in his like mid 40s from according to John Schneider. He was around in his 40s around when they were making Smallville.
So he's an older gentleman. He's getting a little long in the tooth. So it's not necessarily like
Yeah,
Jor-El's fault.
we've seen Eric had those powers. Did you see him having a heart attack and having a heart condition? No.
Yeah, but I'm going to go 8.5 as well. Thought this was a very strong episode. Some nitpicky stuff, but it doesn't derail anything for me. I still thought it was pretty well done, all told. But let's continue on with season 3, episode 14, called Obsession.
Next Wednesday on an all-new Smallville, a chance encounter becomes a fatal attraction. What are you doing here?
You like this as friends.
We barely know each other.
Now you're with me.
Is that a threat? All-new Smallville, The Obsession, next week on the WB Wednesday.
While in an elevator at Luther Corps with another girl during a class field trip, Clark is forced to use his abilities when the cable of the elevator accidentally breaks, and in the process, the student, Alicia Baker, witnesses Clark's ability of heat vision and punching through steel, and in return, Alicia teleports herself and Clark out of the elevator. Oh, and a couple of other places, but we'll get into that. Clark confides a secret to Alicia, who confides her secret to being a meteor rock mutant with the ability of teleportation. Soon, Clark and Alicia start to get closer. You're not kidding. And he starts to really think that Alicia could be the one for him. But Alicia, on the other hand, turns out to be an obsessed sociopath who wants Clark no matter what. When Clark starts to realize Alicia's obsession with him, he decides to put an end to their brief relationship, but Alicia won't settle for seconds and sets off to kill Clark's true love, Lana. Elsewhere, Lana finds a journal that Adam has and finds out that he has been spying on her and Clark under the orders from Lionel. So Lana turns to Lex for help with this situation. So yeah, we got a bit of a stalkery kind of episode.
We got a Fatal Attraction episode.
Pretty much, yeah. But Jacob, what do you think?
Well, first off, me and Brian kind of discussed this. Matt, do you think this episode should have been about a girl being obsessed with Lionel Luthor?
I don't know. I don't know how that would make sense.
Because she was
Lionel.
literally looking at Lionel. When Lionel introduced himself at the beginning, she was smiling like he says.
Oh, so you want that? You were hoping that she would
felt
be
like that.
Obsessed with Lionel and not Clark.
I said, would it worked better as a story narrative?
I don't know. I think it worked better with Clark. I think it made more sense with Lionel. I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, I guess it's just me then. Okay. I was like, I don't know.
I mean, you were onto something, but then I was like, I don't know how that would make any sense.
I mean, but that was like when I saw the way she looked at Lionel earlier in the episode, but I thought that's what I was just thinking about. And I was like, maybe is this just reading into it. Also, if this was, I said, this girl has teleportation powers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Just like Nightcrawler and X-Men.
Yep.
I was
going from Hayden Christensen's Jumper.
I was going to say, like, the Jumper movie, yes, but I was thinking to myself, Mystique called, she wants her abilities back, but then at the same time, that's not.
She even teleports, it turns into green smoke.
No, Nightcrawler, he called back and wants that power back.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
I'm just saying, her power was very cue the Spider-Man 3 clip.
Similar.
But we get to learn a little more with a bit of a revelation about Adam Knight. He's basically the Winter Soldier. I'm going to call him the Summer.
The plot is thickening with Adam.
He is Batman.
He is spying on Clark and Lana the whole time.
He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector.
The Dark Knight.
He is Batman.
No.
Batman.
We literally every time we mention Adam Knight, we should put Batman. No. Batman.
Because
he's not Batman.
Kind of serious,
like a Dark Knight.
though. Like at the end of this episode, he's literally in the chair with the things in his head, like the Winter Soldier.
Lionel was the one who was using Adam to spy on Clark, and knowing everything about him. So he had to get close to Lana. That's his job.
Lionel just needs to say that, like, midnight, summer, like that whole code, and then all Adam Knight has to be like is like, I'm ready to serve. Hail Hydra.
All you gotta do is say the damn words.
You know, but I honestly think though, Adam Knight started out as Batman, and then they changed it. You could tell by this episode they changed him completely. Or like that by then you knew that Warner Bros. Said he's not Batman. So then they're like, all right, let's make him the Winter Soldier.
I'm just saying Ed Brubaker might have a bit of a case here.
Which I will say, I did like that they made him like. I honestly at first I didn't like it, but then it grows on you because you're just like, man, Adam Knight, all he is just a piece of shit abuser. But then you realize, oh no, it's just the drugs making him like Bane. Wouldn't it be cool if they made him Bane?
I probably want to go with destiny.
Like, what if wouldn't it be great if like he gets the drugs and he's like, and then like a Bane symbol.
No, steroids.
Nobody knew who I was till I put on the mask.
The punishment should be more severe.
I'm not even gonna go into the Great Bane. I'm gonna go Schumacher's Bane. Bane.
Oh, the Batman and Robin.
Have you ever seen Chris Stuckman and John Flickinger's Batman and Robin review?
Yeah, the Hilariosity review they did back like several years ago.
I've never seen
Flick
it.
does the bomb.
Oh, you gotta watch that. Their views on Batman and Robin was priceless. That what we were all thinking the whole time.
Flick was like, now go eat some applesauce.
And speaking of charismatic one-liners, a few seconds later, we get this scene right here from Bane. Bomb. Thanks for that great scene, Bane Tard. Now go eat some applesauce.
Back then when they used to collaborate from time to time.
The good old days.
I've seen several of their reviews, but I've never seen that one. Which I did see.
Oh, it's so good.
I
It's
do. I did
great.
see when they were talking. He says basically, I did see like like Batman and Robin though. It's one of those weird movies. You're just like, why would you make this? And also Bane. I will say Bane was probably the only one that kind of got right in a way.
Yeah,
In a way.
in a way.
I will.
Yeah.
I mean,
will
I'm not
say,
the I'm not the biggest like Bane fan, but yeah, they almost got it right for Bane, and a little bit of Mr. Freeze, his backstory.
Poison Ivy, I felt like she had a good villain
freeze in my
story.
hand.
I felt like though she was too sexualized, like in that movie.
Dude, the
Like
whole the female cast with when it comes
like,
to Poison Ivy and Batgirl,
is
they
she
were
trying
all
to be villainous?
sexualized.
I'm like, is Poison Ivy trying to be villainous or give me an erection? I don't understand. You're confusing me.
I mean, probably both. I mean, Batman and Robin got an erection from her.
I mean, seriously, it's like every 5 seconds she's talking sexy, and I'm like, you're confusing my brain.
I think she's in a different movie. I'm like, is she shooting a porn? She
I
could
have some wild oats to sow.
Wild oats to sow.
And he says, whatever. What's that one line she said?
I'll help you grab your rocks.
Yes. I'm just like, these are lines in a movie for kids.
And you're there to sell toys.
Mommy,
and you're saying
Mommy, why is my pants feel happy? He's like, son,
why is it so pointy down there?
Bail out. We're going into dangerous territory. Bail out. Let's just
apologize.
We get too much.
We're sorry.
Let's get into the episode proper.
To Smallville. Yeah, but I really Adam Knight though. Adam Knight is one of those characters. We're gonna have to cut that clip, aren't we?
Probably.
No. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just saying, like, we need to get back on track.
I'm sure a lot of viewers are going to get a lot of good laugh for that topic.
But no, I'm all right. But anyway, Adam Knight though actually feels like a character. You're like, wow, maybe this is going somewhere. And I think that is a really cool idea. And I do like how Clark falls in love with this girl. Like,
yeah, you're right. He's fallen in love with the girl who has the same abilities, but she's hiding who she is, and he wanted to have a secret that he can actually be open and share it with.
I do like how they sell this like that movie. What's it called? The one with the girl with cancer. The one he falls in love with. A Night to Remember or something like that.
Fault in Our Stars.
No, not the 99 movie. When it came out like a 99.
Oh.
Mandy Moore and Shane something.
Never Been Kissed.
No. That's Drew Barrymore. Like he said Mandy Moore.
Mandy Moore with cancer. Type that in, someone fast.
Hang on, 99.
It could have been earlier than that. I'm just saying Mandy Moore with cancer. What movie? It'd really suck if she actually did have cancer right now, and then that would you couldn't even figure out the movie because Mandy Moore movie with cancer.
Oh, it's A Walk to Remember.
A Walk to Remember. That's it.
That came out in 2002.
And it felt like a 99 movie, didn't it?
Well, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it and I didn't watch it.
It's really good, but it feels like a 90 movie. It came out like in 98. And so it feels like this episode feels like it's like, oh, it's a watch. It's like boy falls for a girl falls for a guy. But instead it goes like in a darker turn where girl abuses her parents and her parents are basically house slaves. And on top of that, she puts her father into a coma. And on top of that, she shows up in his bedroom to blow him. And so
it almost looked like you're watching. It almost looked like you were watching a Lifetime movie of soap opera.
It did.
It did. It almost did. It did feel like you're watching a fucking soap opera Lifetime movie.
It did feel like a Lifetime movie.
Just when you fall in love with a girl, then she turns out to be an obsessive psycho.
All you need is
does that sound familiar?
All you need is the ad of going presented by Lifetime. All you needed was that ad. Oh my God! Why when you're showing the promo for the episode?
Then she gets questioned by the sheriff. Like, you have any idea who would want to hurt your phone? I didn't do it. You gotta believe me, Clark.
Also, I did like that. I like how it starts out all nice there. When she shows up in his bedroom, then okay, this is gonna take a darker turn.
You gotta like that. That's every guy's dream come true to have him.
Every guy,
hot girl. Every guy would want to have that
outfit.
happen. We all fantasize that.
Clark's like this, like
she has the ability. She has the ability to teleport and goes into his room, sneaks in. Funny part that I love with Lex Luthor's response, like she's putting sexy photos in your locker room. What's your secret, Clark? I just died. I replayed that scene over
Super
and
dick,
over
that's
again.
my-
That shit
that's
was
my
so
answer.
good. Response to Lex.
I love John
She
Schneider.
sneaks into your bedroom, puts sexy photos in your locker room. What? And now she's asking for the wedding. What's your secret, Clark?
And I love the part where they're like doing some sexual healing, and then Jonathan just walks in there, be like, and Clark has the look of like, "Hey," I was just sitting there thinking to myself, it'd be funny if he did like the Iron Man line where like Tony Stark's in the midst of getting out of
Oh
his
yeah,
suit.
yeah. It's like, hey, let's face it. It's not the first thing you
You
caught
want
me
to hear
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
on Talkville? They said, I don't know if I'm gonna try to say the clip, but on Talkville, they said that was improvised. Like they were not expecting John Schneider to walk in. He was supposed to walk in later.
Oh, so
and
that
he-
was improvised and that was not in the
And he
script.
came in like the director said, "Come in, you should come in early and just like keep them by surprise." And so then he come in and say, "Clark," and he ad lib, "Hey Clark, did you fall to your bed or something?" And then he seen that no, that was they're like not expecting him to come in right then and there.
Well, can you imagine if he never came in the room, they would have gone for it?
And now for something completely different.
I'm sure they would. They would have stopped.
He would have lost his virginity right then and there with
Like
all of a sudden,
was-
like the whole earthquake happened in Smallville this morning.
yeah, the earthquake would have happened. He would have shooken up the damn house, or probably smushed her in the bed.
And that's why you have to put the kryptonite condom on.
That would kill him.
That's literally a joke in Mallrats where he
Yeah,
says,
joke in
Superman,
Mallrats. I
the
understand.
only way
that.
he can have sex with Lois Lane is if he uses the kryptonite condom.
And it's like Captain America said. I understood that reference.
yeah, it's a Mallrats. If you've never seen it, Ryan, Mallrats.
What are you doing with your life if you have not seen Mallrats? Come on, dude.
Ryan, you gotta watch Mallrats.
He
It's a
mentions
Superman
the comic book
kryptonite
geek.
condom joke.
Yeah,
is hilarious.
a comic book geek played by Jason Lee just goes on a sexual the topic with Superman
having
that he
sex with
cannot
Lois
have
Lane
a
without putting a
baby.
shotgun into her back.
He blows a load like a shotgun right through her back. What about her wound? Do you think it's strong enough to carry his child?
Sure, why not?
Its Kryptonian biological makeup is enhanced by Earth's yellow sun. If Lois gets a tan, the kid could kick right through her stomach. The only way he could bang regular chicks is with a kryptonite condom. That would kill him.
There is logic in what he says.
You think the fallopian tubes can handle the sperm?
He said, like, second that baby has a kick, her uterus goes, which is Supergirl. They do actually justify it. They say we're going to go to the fortress.
No,
that
what
way-
about Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman, I believe.
They actually justify it in Supergirl by saying Superman's like, we're going to go to the fortress because if the baby kicks, it would be really bad for Lois if the baby kicks.
Going off-world on Earth.
Yeah, because they said if they stay on Earth world and the baby kicks, well, Lois is not going to have a belly. And
She ain't gonna have anything. She's like, she won't even have her uterus will be gone.
That's what, and Supergirl, the TV show Supergirl. That's what,
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, they had to go off-world.
So,
Yeah,
what happens when Superman and Supergirl are in the sack next week on Unsolved Mysteries?
You what?
Things that make you go.
Wait, not them, not them, not them, not them.
Not
Superman.
not Supergirl.
They're cousins, you sick bastard.
No, I'm not saying the two of them. I'm just saying like one does one and then like the other does the other with the damn thing.
Shut up, shut up, shut up!
It's not like they're from the South and
It's not from Alabama,
completely
man.
separate.
from Alabama.
Completely separate.
but yeah, just because you're on a farm doesn't mean like I'm slaving with my cousin tonight. Yeah.
I was like my cousin. I'm from Alabama.
But yeah, how does Supergirl, to quote Ryan, how does Supergirl get it on with humans, and how does Superman get it on with female humans this week on Unsolved Mysteries? But seriously though,
I just realized the gravity of what I just said.
Yeah. Not Superman. But also, if this was the boys, that they would use teleportation to their dirty advantage. Like all of a sudden he would be sleeping and she teleports right on his dick. He's like, oh, oh. He's like, oh god, I was not expecting that. That was just a surprise. And he's like, yeah, teleport off me.
If you watch the Invincible without giving away too much, Mark has sex with his girlfriend, but she's not on the top. She's on the top, so she doesn't get smushed.
That makes sense. But yeah, that scene was pretty good though, where Jonathan and them are talking to her, and all of a sudden, like, she's eavesdropping on him, and I'm like, Jonathan has the balls to tell, oh yeah, Clark, does she know your weakness about kryptonite? And I'm like, Jonathan.
Dude, she can teleport. She can easily eavesdrop on their conversation without them knowing.
Jonathan, not your brightest moment.
Not too bright, dude. Not too bright.
Like Chloe's there, and she's basically giving Lionel the FUIs, and then all of a sudden, she makes a comment, and Lionel basically corrects her. Is it something you want to add, Miss Sullivan? And I'm just like, oh, he called you out, Chloe.
It's awkward to go on that tour with Lionel, fucking given the introduction of the tour at LuthorCorp.
Lionel didn't fire her father. Lex did. He said, "I just."
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it was.
I
Lex
just took your job. I just took her internship away. Lex did the rest. Also, don't you think Lionel must have broken the wire?
I don't know. I mean, that is a good theory. Like, it can't just be the elevator accident. Even though they never mention it, but that is a good theory that Lionel could have caused
because security was ready to open the door. Like the thing went numb. The Clark grabbed it, and all of a sudden security was at the door. I'm like, no way, security would be that quick in response. Clark must have, Lionel must have been watching to see what would happen.
Unless they're monitoring the elevator because there's a camera and that Clark just shot at heat vision at to make sure they don't watch them what he's really doing to stop that elevator from falling to their death.
Yeah.
I also liked how Alicia, how she goes single white female and goes crazy. Like, she literally injures her parent, like she injures her dad, puts her dad in a coma, and then on top of that, she's literally she's just scared. And then she's like, "Oh, it's Lana, isn't it?" And then she goes right after Lana.
She gets to have a big giant fucking knife going after her, like
Michael Myers-esque knife.
Yeah, going on female Michael Myers. If she was in a soap opera Lifetime movie.
Michaela Myers, if you will.
When does she be? If she could do in X-Men or Wolverine, where she could just teleport into her spine and pull her spine out.
Oh,
that would have been so graphic. If it was in The Boys, that would probably work.
All that was missing, finish him in a fatality, flawless victory.
I know you're gonna put it in.
Oh yeah, if you remember the two actresses, Sarah Carter and the mother that plays the character in the episode, they were both in Final Destination 2. Are they literally just recruiting Final Destination 2 actors?
All these movies are shot in Canada.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Sarah Carter, she is Canadian.
So is the mom, so is the son, and so is Ryan Merriman.
That's true. All good Canadian kids.
80% of the people in here are Canadian.
For being for such a big country, Canada just seems to have just a small pool of actors.
It seems like a Smallville of actors.
But I think we've covered just about everything. We did touch on the Adam Knight ending, which, I mean, yeah, the
I like how Lex just takes care of him. He's like, I took care of him. And I'm like, that to me was like, that's
no, I don't remember him doing it. Like, hey, I didn't really take care of anything. And Lana was like, if you didn't take care of him, then who did? If you didn't kick him out of that apartment.
I thought Lex took care of it.
Because they couldn't kick him out of that apartment because his name is still on the lease. So legally he can't. So now we find out in the lab, it was Lionel who took care of it. It wasn't Lex.
Yeah. Also, when did Alicia break into Clark's to the school and then put the photos in Clark's locker? How would she even get into the locker?
She's a teleporter, remember?
But the locker's this big, Ryan.
Yeah, how would she fit in that locker?
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe she got.
She took a lot of work and effort putting all those photos and all the decoration inside the locker room.
I could believe her teleporting in the school, but how would she get in the locker? Because unless she knows his combination, there's no way she could get in that locker. Even teleporting, because she's like, it's that big. It's not one of those full-blown lockers. But yeah, it is. I do like this episode. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was a solid episode. I probably would give this a 7.
I agree with a 7.
You know what? We are simpatico. I will go 7 as well. Solid base hit of an episode. Not like world changing or anything, but I thought it was fine for what it was going for. But let's dive into our last episode of this.
Before we do,
yes.
I want to say this one thing about Asylum before we go.
Yes.
All right. So it's in Asylum, Michael Rosenbaum said on Talkville. Basically, that what happened when they were shooting Asylum. You know, when he said he went crazy. He said I actually went crazy in real life for like a week because he said he was literally doing the episode Asylum, and what happened was some guy broke into his van. And so this is in Canada and all that stuff. And so all of a sudden, some guy's breaking into his van. They hear dogs are barking. So him and his buddy go out there, and he's like, he grabs a baseball bat and goes, "Hey, motherfucker, get out of my van." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't breaking your van. Someone broke into your van. I was just walking by." And then him and his buddy grab the guy, and they call the police, and the police are talking to the guy. And the guy's like, he said, the cop said to him, "Mr. Rosenbaum, did you see him break into your van?" He goes, "No, he was just right there. But I mean, he was literally walking away from him." He goes, "Mr. Rosenbaum, did you see him break into your van?" He goes, "Well, no, I didn't." But he said, "Mr. Rosenbaum, for us to arrest the individual, we have to ask, did you see him break into your van?" And he goes, "Yes, I saw him broke into my van." He goes, "That's all we wanted to know. Arrest him." And so he tells that story. He says, "I went nuts because I was crazy because I was shooting it, getting no sleep because of this episode." So he said, "Yeah, that's what happened." But he said, "Yeah, that was a funny story about Asylum." But yeah,
Let it never be known that Rosenbaum would lose sleep for his art. But let's dive into Season 3, Episode 15, called Resurrection.
You
still haven't told me where these blood platelets come from. What if there's something inside me that could repair Dad's heart?
It's a very delicate substance.
I think that Lana Luthor's found a way to use my blood to bring people back to life.
Smallville, next week on the WB Wednesday.
When Jonathan goes to Smallville Medical Center for a physical examination, his doctor diagnoses arterial blockage and recommends a triple bypass. Meanwhile, Vince Davis, the older brother of Clark's friend Garrett Davis, who we have never met until this episode and will never see again afterwards, but more on that in a minute, needs a liver transplant for reasons, but does not receive one and he dies. His body is sent to Metropolis to be the next test subject of Lionel's experiment by Dr. Leah Tang, who injects his dead body with blood platelets and revives him. When Vince gets sick again, the unstable Garrett loses control and becomes a threat to the patients, employees, and visitors of the hospital by showing up at the hospital with a kryptonite-infused bomb that he somehow had for reasons until he receives a new liver transplant.
It was meant for the school. It was meant for his school, but he's like, "I saved it for this." It's like this literally, this kid's like a school shooter, just like waiting to happen. He was like, I was going to use this at my high school, but instead we're going to use this at a hospital, which is even more fucked up if you think about it.
Yeah, well, back to the synopsis. Jonathan's heart surgery, while the overzealous Sheriff Adams wants to kill Garrett in any way possible, even at the expense of the hostages. Meanwhile, Chloe does some investigating for Lex of Dr. Tang and learns about the mysterious blood platelet serum she's manufacturing and about the first test subject, Adam. So yeah, this episode left its brain at the door. For one thing, while the surgery is going on with Jonathan and this whole hostage situation is going on seemingly in like another part of the hospital, like why would they just like, I get maybe they don't want to stop the surgery, but like certainly someone would have like when the bomb goes off, it was like the surgeon is like, what was that noise? Never mind. Like, it's so weird. Like, why? Like, anyone, like, anyone concerned at all? Like, I don't know. It was weird.
This episode's dumb.
It
Like,
kind of is low key.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that Denzel Washington movie, Johnny Q. But that movie's good. John Q. I like that movie. This tries to do like a shittier version of that, where it's like, I do like how they steal the dead body from the brother's dead body and resurrect him, and he comes back and everything, and then all of a sudden he dies again, and the brother's like, "See, he came back to life." And then he's like, "I want them to put that in the hospital because it's Lionel Luthor's company." He's like, "We don't know what did he put." And then all of a sudden he's like, "Well, he's gonna live again." He holds a hostage. I like how it becomes a hostage. I like hostage situations, but this is a dumb version of that hostage situation from season 2. where I'm like, this is very, very dumb.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, this kid, like we never see him again after this, and we've never met him before. And Clark and him are apparently bosom buddies, while Chloe and Pete are just chopped liver, apparently. Like, what was this?
Yeah, it didn't really make any sense. Like, I didn't understand their history. His motivation was so stupid that he's willing to take out the whole hospital to save his brother's life.
Just odd. I mean, it felt like, I don't know. And then the whole kryptonite bomb, like, where did he find this?
Well,
Like,
his brother wasn't his brother was in a military, and he was in the bomb squad or something.
I think they try to explain it away, but just, man, it was like I said, it was very, very odd. Like it was a very odd thing overall. And like I was talking about, this whole surgery's going on, and the surgeon's like, let's continue. I'm like, when a bomb literally went off nearly outside. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
heard the rubble. Like, what was it? What did they think it was? An earthquake?
Wait, I forgot what happened. Like, didn't like I know the kid gets killed and then he hits the butt detonator.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he gets
Clark get,
shot
like,
with a sniper. Then he had the button on. He had the detonator in his
didn't Clark
hand.
get the didn't Clark use like a lead vest or something, grab the bomb and run away with it or something?
He used that hospital blanket to cover up the bomb with the kryptonite so he doesn't get weakened while he's in super speed, and tosses it off in the well.
Into a well, yes.
I mean, this episode's also the kid's acting is awful in this. Like, he just seems like he comes off like a little whiny bitch.
Yeah, he's just an angsty, whiny, and annoying.
I do not like how Clark sees Lex and the doctor there and he steals the serum.
Yeah, he breaks in and steals the serum, and it turns out when we find out that the kryptonite was reacting to that serum, it did the same thing with Clark's blood. So now he put two and two together, and that's Clark's blood that they were using, especially with Adam. That he's using the serum to bring people back to life, and his blood, it does save lives, but it comes with a side effect to that drug.
So, keeping with the unofficial theme of these episodes, Garrett is played by an actor named James Kirk, who was in Final Destination 2.
Yep, as I mentioned that before we started the show.
And then he was also Ronnie Drake, I guess Bobby Drake's brother in X2.
Oh, yeah, that's him. Yeah, Bobby Drake's brother. The one who doesn't talk but calls the police on them like a dick. A jealousy brother.
What a
My brother's a mutant and I'm not, so I like he literally.
My parents love him more than me. He's their favorite.
By the way, that it feels like they had that character from X-Men 2 just walked off the set and walked right on the Smallville set and just started reading the lines.
Which Sean Ashmore was another Smallville guest star that did 2 episodes. What a coincidence.
It's just so weird that all the Canadian actors appear.
Why do I get the? I have a feeling I could be wrong. Like, did X2 shot in Vancouver too as well? I think they did.
X1, all the X-Men movies were shot in Canada.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Every single X-Men movie shot in Canada. I think, except for did X-Men First Class shoot in Canada?
I don't think so.
I thought that one, because I know Matthew Vaughn does not like shooting in.
Yeah, because this was directed by Matthew Vaughn, who directed First Class, and I don't think they shot it in Canada. I think
they shot that in Britain, because I know the mansion looks different.
Yeah, they probably shot it in Britain. That makes more sense.
England. I'm about to look that up. I'm gonna see which one X-Men 2. I'm about to look that up because I'm pretty sure Matthew Vaughn shot that in the UK.
Yeah, I believe he did.
Because I know Matthew Vaughn does not like shooting in Canada.
Yeah, because this is a different director. It's not Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer goes to Canada because it's cheaper.
I thought it was really cool, though, while they're looking this up. I thought it was really cool, the scene where Clark steals the blood platelets and he's literally in and he's out. And while Lex and Dr. Tang are talking, like, what was that? And it's like, I don't know.
But I will say it did further the main story, even though this episode was filler. But his blood was something that was harking back to the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, we have that question at the end of, can my blood save people? Should I come forward? I'm like,
hey, should I come forward? Should I volunteer like a blood donation? And what if I can use it to save his dad's heart? And Jonathan, again, pulls off a great performance. Like, yeah, you're going to save so many lives one day, but this is not it.
Yep,
it was the UK. It was shot in the UK.
Yep, that's definitely correct. They definitely shot in the UK. First Class.
Yep. Everything else was shot in Canada.
Yep.
But which I will say, I do think I do like this aspect of it. That the whole Lex and the blood thing, that was a good storyline. I just did not give it two shits about like the whole my brother Clark. I'm gonna have. I
Which
thought it was
did you
ballsy,
recognize the brother from the actor? Another
Yeah,
good
all right. So
Canadian
we need to
kid.
address the elephant in the room. They use this guy again for a big role in like season 6.
Yeah, they
And
did.
so, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this is the thing because he's Canadian, and he's a Man of Steel as well.
Yeah, he did make an appearance in Man of Steel. He was in Battlestar Galactica.
I'm just like it's because they need actors that know their shit, so that way it's easier.
Yeah,
to
because
find.
we've seen a lot of CW shows like using the same
At least
actors
try to
playing
make
different
them look
characters.
different. I mean, give them like a mustache or something.
Well, most people like who don't watch it as many times as we do, they're not going to be able to put 2 and 2 together and or even know the difference. They just completely forgot all about it like several
But
seasons
yeah,
later.
I do like this.
You guys pointed out to me.
Which I do think that I do like this. I thought the episode parts of it I liked, like the Lex stuff, but I don't give two shits about the hostage situation. And I usually like hostage situations in an episode. Like season 2 episode was like Die Hard. That was awesome. This one was like a pile of dog shit. This is like Die Hard 2.
It was like more of a Walmart Die Hard.
This was like that. This was like
or a
shitty Die
stupid
Hard
life or
ripoff.
some shitty fucking Lifetime Die Hard ripoff episode if they did a Lifetime smaller movie.
It's like they saw Johnny Q and Die Hard and said, how do we make this even worse?
Yeah, we all can agree that the whole bomb threat situation was all stupid, but the rest of it,
I thought
it
that was ballsy. They killed him.
Oh yeah, the sniper just straight up murdered him.
That they were gonna bring the brother back to life, and then the brother was like, and then
don't do it, don't do it.
Weren't you expecting that to happen? But then, like when all of a sudden the brother doesn't wake up, and then the sniper hits him, I'm like,
that would be funny. That would have been so messed up if he actually got brought back from the dead.
Wouldn't it have been messed up if the boy had woken up? Like, like that Lionel Luthor takes this younger Clark's friend's body to the place, and the kid wakes up.
Oh yeah, that would have been interesting. That way he wouldn't have been a one-off character.
I'm just saying, like, to me, that's just I thought this episode was okay. Like,
I feel like they had to use that stupid plot device, but they want to add more intense and adding more suspense to the episode to put people on edge of a seat, even though it was so stupid. But they want to use it to further the whole plot of the overall season.
Yeah, it was definitely the weakest of the 3 that we've covered, and I think we've covered just about everything. Let's go to ratings. Jacob, what about it?
I'm probably gonna give this like a 3 out of 10.
Ooh, that's low, huh?
Damn.
All right, Matt, what about it?
I'm giving it a 5.
Okay.
It was below average episode.
I will say 5. 5, yeah, that's fair. 5 is fair. I'll give it a 5 too. That's fair.
All right, so 5. I'll go 4. Like, I did not care for this at all, and just like I said, this episode just left its brain at the door. I'm just like,
so who's worse, the kid or Phelan?
Phelan is far worse. Like, there are a few things that are as bad as Phelan, and thankfully he was killed off long before this, so I don't have to see any of this anymore. So thank God for that.
I just imagine, wouldn't it be funny if Phelan showed back up?
Nick Cage like, ugh.
Would have been funny if Phelan just was a reoccurring character and just kept showing up.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, just like every time you're like, fuck, can we kill him off already? Instead, it's like, well, he's gone, so it's okay.
I'm back.
Like, I'm once again asking Clark to use your heat vision to cut this dude in half.
Just
please.
Just Homelander him. Homelander his ass.
Okay. But yeah, 5. So Ryan's a 4, I'm a 5, and Matt's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, both same score.
Well, I pass it off to all of you. What did you all think of these 3 episodes? Let us know in the comments. Love to read what you have to say. We're starting off this year big, and it's just going to get bigger for this show and for the 3 of us. Thank you all so much for checking out the stream. Like I said, gonna be doing a lot more with these guys, and I'm looking forward to it. But Jacob, tell the people where they can find you. And be nice.
Oh. They can find me on my 3D Movie Cinema channel, or they can find me on here on Tuesdays And and they also can find me next Sunday on your live stream, where we will be New Year's Eve rocking it out. We'll be rocking out with our cocks out. You know, we're gonna all the women will be.
It would have happened already.
Okay, well then we would have jammed out. All the women would have been jammed out with their clam out. So.
Yeah, let's go with that. Why not? But the link to that will be in the
Matt's
description.
laughing his ass off over there. You can't see him, but Matt's laughing. He's laughing.
I'm just going back to my improv classes from middle and high school. Yes, and yes, and yes, and. But Matt, what do you have coming to your channel?
Well, I dropped 3 new videos recently. I dropped the top 10 favorite Christmas movies. I know Christmas is already over and we're in 2024, but definitely check my video out. And I dropped 2 movie reviews with Ferrari and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I still got a couple of videos I just recorded. What I just recorded? Yeah, the Poor Things I recorded and Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. By the time you see this video, it will already be up on my channel, and be sure to check that out. And yeah, I love talking about Smallville. I can't wait to get into like a couple of more weeks when we get into the Lex storyline, which it'll be like, I believe like 2 more weeks left when we get to that point of Lex's story, more of the backstory, which I'm excited to see Ryan's reaction.
Yeah, well, don't tease me too much.
Without giving away too much.
I am looking forward to, well, Smallville in general, but I'm specifically looking forward to that because Lex is the best character on this show by a lot. But subscribe to these guys and their channels linked in the description. Looking forward to working with them for this year for Smalltalk, but also for other things. So stay tuned for all of that. As far as this channel goes, my road to Godzilla X Kong has begun. As of the dropping of this, my first video for that series will have been my review for Son of Kong, and then tomorrow will be my review for King Kong vs. Godzilla, the original, not the 21 version, the original one from Toho and Universal. Jacob Martin will be joining me for that. And then Saturday will be the original Mothra vs. Godzilla, so stay tuned for all of that. And then the 1999 project will also be kicking off this Friday, be reviewing all of the movies coming out, or that did come out in the year 1999. So that's going to be my big year-long series through 2024. So it starts this Friday, so stay tuned for that. But for Jacob Collins, for Matt Wyatt, my name is Ryan Cam. For Truth, for Justice, in the American Way, we will see you in the next one. Y'all take care.